Thank you very much. I am Dr. Francis Adedayo Faduyile. I'm the president of the Nigerian Medical Association, a professor of pathology with Lagos State University College of Medicine, and a consultant pathologist with Lagos State University Teaching Hospital. Well, I think it's going to be a misnomer if everybody thinks that anyone who attains some significant height must have come from people with a silver spoon in their mouth. I want to say majority of those people who achieve greatness are people who struggled all through their life, and they were able to make a significant impact for them to achieve greatness. For me, I started from a humble beginning. I'm a product of school teachers. My parents were school teachers, and I can tell you for a fact that I started with, I had all my secondary and primary school in public institutions, St. John's Catholic School in Oturupa in Ondo State. I had a short stint in my father's school, where he was the principal then, in Ikoya Grammar School, for 1 year before he was transferred to Methodist High School, Oturupa, where I now followed him, and I completed my secondary school from Form 2 to Form 5. Then I proceeded to do my advanced level. I had each of those classes in Christ School, Ado Ekiti, and completed it at Ondo Boys High School, Ondo. Thereafter, I got admission into the University of Lagos to study medicine, and I passed out from College of Medicine in 1996. Shortly after that, I went to do my youth corps, my house job, my youth corps. Then I started working in Ondo State back in 1999. And by the time we stayed for about 3 years, I went back again to study to become a specialist in histopathology in Lagos University Teaching Hospital, which I completed in 2007. During that time, I enrolled for a master's degree in business administration at the University of Technology, and I bagged an MBA degree. And I also had to pass through the master's degree in cell biology and genetics from the University of Lagos, where I had a master's degree of cell biology and genetics. I also had some other international engagement. I was in the United States for some courses, where I had the principle and practice of cancer prevention and also molecular prevention course. I had a short period in Australia to improve my specialist training in cytopathology. I was in Darlinghurst in St. Vincent Hospital, Australia, Sydney. I also had to go for studies in forensic medicine in the United Kingdom, where I bagged a diploma in forensic human identification course. I was recently awarded a fellow of the College of Pathology of the East, Central, and South Africa. These are things that we have done with a lot of dedication, with a lot of focus, not minding the difficulties that we met on ground. In terms of policies, I have gone through the rank and file from medical student days, where I was a member of the House of Lords, as we were called, that is the parliament. I was in the General Parliament of the University of Lagos Student Union, and I rose to become the Lord Chancellor, that is the head of parliament of the College of Medicine Student Association. After leaving the medical school, I was the vice president of the Medical Doctors Corpus Association in Kaduna, where I served. When I got to Ondo State, I started almost immediately as the secretary of the Nigerian Medical Association, the position I held for the 3 years that I was in Ondo State employment before I got to do my residency in Luth. While I was in Luth, I started as a social secretary of the Resident Doctors Association, and I graduated to become the national PRO of National Association of Resident Doctors. After that, I contested and I became the president of the Association of Resident Doctors of Luth. This was by the time I was in residency. Shortly after residency, I started work in the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital and College of Medicine, where I was made the vice chairman of the Medical and Dental Consultant Association of Nigeria. After that, I contested again for the chairman of Nigerian Medical Association in Lagos State. I won, and I was the chairman for 2012 to 2014. I was made the chairman of the Lasut branch, that Lagos State University Teaching Hospital branch of Medical and Dental Consultant Association of Nigeria, where I doubled as the caucus leader of the Southwest MDCAN, that's Medical and Dental Consultant Association of Nigeria. It was on this position that I contested for the president of the Nigerian Medical Association. In 2018, I won, and I have been leading the Nigerian Medical Association since 2018. Hopefully, in the next few weeks, I'll be rounding up for another election to choose a successor to this post. Generally, outside the scope of medical politics, I had also delved into the politics, into the partisan politics. In 2011, I contested for the House of Assembly under the platform of Action Congress of Nigeria in Ondo State. Of course, I did not win. And in 2015 also, I took up the gauntlet again, and I contested for the House of Representatives, also under APC. I did not pass through the primary elections. And presently, I am hoping, with the support of the good people of Ondo State and people of Nigeria at large, to become the governor of Ondo State in this 2020 gubernatorial election coming up in some few months' time. Thank you very much. Well, the scope of the Nigerian Medical Association is primarily to protect the welfare of its member, to see that doctors are well taken care of and justifiably put in their position. Again, we are supposed to also be like a guidance to the government to ensure that the right things are done for Nigerians as the populace. We also have to know that we have a lot of researches that affects the health of people. The Nigerian Medical Association is also interested in that, and we participate actively in that. And in short, the Nigerian Medical Association protects both the doctors, the practice, and the health of the people. And that is why we always pride ourselves as the people or the group or the association that is saddled with the responsibility of the good health-being of Nigerians. We have many things that we can say to adduce to that. For example, many of the things that are going within the hospital that are not working well, the Nigerian Medical Association come out and voice it out so that the public may be aware, and they can also put pressure on the government to get things done. And many of them is to the benefit of the patient, the populace, and everybody, which also includes the doctor as it is. So we have a lot that we are doing to the community. We have some areas that we are going for medical mission, treating patients without collecting money, giving health talk, and giving the necessary pieces of advice as it will be beneficial to Nigerians generally. So these are some of the things that Nigerian Medical Association stands for. And we are also to interrelate with our sister associations so that we can improve the health and well-being of Nigerians generally. We have had a significant large number of projects. The first one I want to say was before we came in, the council that controlled the medical practice in Nigeria was not in place. We had to fight or put a lot of effort or pressure on the government for them to set up that council. And we did that within the first 6 or 8 months that we came in, and we were able to have that. And now you are seeing that a lot of doctors who had behaved badly within the scope of discharging of their duty have been called to book. And this is to make sure that the health institution get rid itself of people who are not that professional in their activity. Again, we have been able to ensure that brain drain is reduced within this country. You know for a fact that we have been in the forefront of telling the government that we have massive brain drain and we need to stem the tide. We are given very useful information to the government, which we believe they use and follow judiciously. It will stem the tide of brain drain. We have also, on our own, been able to support government in formulation of a lot of policies, a lot of acts and law that are positive towards the health of Nigerians. For example, we are also involved in ICON projects where we are checking the level of trans-fatty acid within the populace and letting people know the deleterious effect of this fatty acid in our food. We have visited many sister organizations like NAFDAC, like the Oil Association. We have had meeting with the market women. We have had meeting with National Council of Women, National Council of Women Society. We have interacted with a large number of people to let people see this effect of some of these fatty acids. We have been the advocate of good health to people. There are some places that their way of life has not been to support good health. We have taken it upon ourselves to educate and let people know that these are things we want to work on. On the actual area that we are also going to look at is that we are ensured that we make doctors in Nigeria comfortable by discussing with the government, making sure that proper and adequate remuneration as well as other issues around their employment and stability within where they are are well taken care of. Unfortunately, we have not been able to stem the tide of kidnappings and others, and other bad behavior or security issues that affect us generally. But by and large, these are the things that we have done. And the project we have pushed, we are doing medical mission every 4 months when we go to our meetings, and we treat a large number of people. We do surgery, we give free drugs. Sometimes or many times we do also laboratory tests to the people at no cost to them. We have a committee on emerging and re-emerging diseases, and Lassa fever comes to mind. What we have done on our own is that we have gone ahead to educate our people from contracting the disease. It's unfortunate that while we have some dutiful doctors in Kano State, late last year they contracted the deadly Lassa fever, and about two of them died as a result of that contact. We have increased the awareness amongst all our medical personnel and making sure that we can stop the spread of the disease. On the part of the globally acclaimed coronavirus COVID-19 that is ravaging the entire world, we want to say that the government must ensure that all our ports of entry are well manned and well taken care to guide against people who may be infected with such diseases from having access to Nigeria. By and large, there are a lot of things we need to do to stall the emerging and re-emerging diseases. Is to have cleanliness, to listen to proper information, and to ensure that we have proper hand washing and proper rituals of things that will guide against against possibility of contracting those diseases. My advice may be misleading, because from statistics and from researches, we have found that up to 80% of them who are young are looking outside the shores of this country. I want to appeal to them that Nigeria is our own. There is nowhere we can go. There is no how you can be a big man in a foreign land. You are still a foreigner. Let us develop our country together. Let us decide that it is our responsibility to improve what is happening in our country. It is until that time that we can get the best for our country. Many of them, after they have expended their most viable years, they want to come back when they are weak to Nigeria. And that is really unfair and unfortunate to the populace. My advice is that it is important to see the larger picture, to see why it can improve health in Nigeria and how we can salvage it together. Thank you. Well, we have been having a lot of partnership with the government, and we have not shy in any way from continuing to work with the government to improve the life of Nigerians. So we are there, and I can assure you we have several. Today I have one of our members who have gone to meet with some of the government functionaries on the issue of fatality cases plan, fatality cases plan that the Nigeria must put in place. So we work with them, we work actively with them, and we continue to work with them. My prayer for Nigeria is for Nigeria to be more prosperous, for us to have more stability, for the youth to have more hope, and for us to see us determined to make Nigeria better than it is. And it is our responsibility to develop our home. Nigeria is our home. There is no place that we can call home. My prayer is that you and I will stay here and develop things to the betterment of everyone in Nigeria. It is for the youth to do things. It is only the youth that can make the change. I call on the youth and I pray for the youth that will do the necessary things that we need to put in place so that Nigeria can be a great country. Thank you very much.